Welcome back to episode 2 of the Imperia series. There was pretty good support for the last video, so I will be continuing this very stupid and poorly strung along story. If you want to see the last video I made, the video card should be at the top right now, and I suggest you see that first. Anyways, it was release time. It took a very long time, because Fries had to add a lot of random stuff and fix bugs. 3 days later, we finally got to log back on. We had discussed the economy and how it was very broken, so we decided to reset everyone's balances and set towns that had more than 100,000 to be 100,000. It was mostly pretty uneventful, and was only some rearrangements that happened. For example, Japan just retreated from Manchuria, and Austria just ceased to exist. Due to Mr. Locomotive's hard work, we had finished the Great Dundee Fort, which I can agree sounds silly, but it was there and it was pretty cool. Bulgaria begins its colonization as it starts to just buy islands around it. The British are just sleeping, and they do not log back on, as a spoiler. This is when the beef between Bulgaria with San Marino and San Marino with Lithuania started, and it was actually pretty fair. Just Mihar, who was just a really avid murderer, was murdered by Lithuanians, while he had also murdered Bulgarians. It was very stupid, but it would be essential later on. This is also when Australia forms, so congrats to those Australians watching. Bulgaria once again buys more land, that being Socotra, from the British. Italy also fell around this time, when the leader just left and just refused to say anything about it. This is when the papacy and San Marino took up the place of Italy, but no one really recognized their claims. Japan also pops in sometimes to yap a bit. They are mostly ignored. Also, this is where the Byzantium and Bulgaria beef starts too. They think that Byzantium is a complete and utter fraud. But let's get back to news more close to home. The Soviets annex some Finnish land, as history did. I did speak with the Soviets to let me keep land when they would occupy the whole of Finland. For some reason, me just saying I support the annexation was enough to cause people like Stella to criticize me, which is just illogical. Back to the Balkans. Albania randomly joins Yugoslavia, like they weren't big enough already. Lithuania joins in the bandwagon, and just straight up annexes Poland, which some people don't recognize. The Japanese really wanted to join, but they failed. They say they occupy land, yet they don't, and just humiliate themselves further. They also say how Lithuanians deserve Poland, even though they barely play. To make it worse, they just randomly removed the guarantee on Yugoslavia, when they had beef with me and wanted to prove a point. All that was just to strengthen their bond with Bulgaria. But then everyone just says they should stay out of Europe. It's genuinely pretty funny. I also started to become more ambitious, so with approval from the admins, I entered a union with Norway, which still doesn't exist, so I just occupied Norway and planned to build rails to connect all of the places, as the teleport command was planned to be removed sometime. When this was happening, FCJ, a member from the Diplomatica video, also joined the server, and he began to help with the construction of the new IKEA and a villager trading hall. The Union also made us more powerful enough to enter an alliance with the Soviets. You can see all the terms down below. To secure all our lands and all that, I formed the Swedish Grenadier Defense Corps, which is like a last resort group to fight. That was needed, as Japan began to reform, after all those stupid things she said. Then it was the 1933 elections for the United States, which have been pretty quiet since the start of the server. Somehow, Suthami had won the elections, when St. Jimmy, the Republican, was much more popular in the public. Luckily, Suthami wanted to form an alliance with the Swedish when he got into office, so that was a pretty good trade. After all those pretty exciting events, it was already 1934 when the pre-war period started, which was a very appropriate name for all the conflicts that occurred. But until then, goodbye.
Get a rise out of you, yes it's true. You respond and that's his cue to start trouble on the double while he strokes his manly stubble. You've been trolled, you should probably just fold when the only winning move is not to play. And yet you keep on trying, mindlessly replying. You've been trolled, have a nice day.